Today I'm going to show you how to record your old tapes onto the computer without using an expensive USB one, because they cost about 150 quid to £200 and they look a bit like that. Now I'm not using the Technics, and the reason being is that one's got too many decibels, which means that when you plug it in there it sounds really bad and distorted, and it doesn't matter how low you put your Audacity to record at, it sounds terrible. And then I thought, the second one I tried, I thought we'll use a microphone condenser, put it through there, and I actually thought, yeah, this sounds great. And then I realised, no, it doesn't, it sounds awful. I'm actually going to play you a sample I've just recorded. Now, a sample I'm going to play is a mate of mine. He's 57 now. Back in the 80s, he was with a band. He's been with various bands, and he recorded a song called Suntan, and he did that in his mate's attic. Yeah, so he set up a little studio in his attic and did all this recording using a 4-track recorder. I don't know whether it was something like that or something small, but he did it and it sounds amazing. And I just want to say that tapes are great. I don't know why people got rid of tapes. They're brilliant. Bring back the tape community. They're brilliant tapes. So you're going to be really impressed. Now, before I play it, just to show you, this system here has got an equalizer. And basically I've set it to soft. You do not want to record it with bass, because if you add bass, it's going to add more bass and it's going to sound distorted. There is no bass on there at all. That's turned off. Yeah. Now that's turned off completely, and I've made it on soft. I could have put it on flat, but I put it on soft. Flat means there's nothing, which might have been better, but soft is what I went for. Now you can probably see there's a section there and it does sound a bit like that. I am going to do a separate video on showing you how to get rid of noise, because noise is a very important thing. Now I'm not going to use Audacity, I am going to use Adobe Premiere Pro. Now that is a video editing software, but it also has an audio software. And what basically, as an example there, if you highlight that there, yeah, so on the screen there, it's highlighted there. So it hears that noise and you think, right, that's what I want you to pick out of the song. So you highlight that and you say, right, do it, clears it like that. Audacity doesn't always work. Sometimes it'll just make the song thin and it just will not work, but I bet you're dying to hear it. And this is one of his own songs he did in the 80s with his band, and I think it sounds fantastic. Let me know what you think, and then once we've listened to this, I will then do a recording just to show you how easy and simple it is. There we go. Sorry, I re-recorded the video so many times I forgot to mention how to connect the tape deck to the computer. All you do basically is use a jack to jack. So your headphone socket on the stereo system goes into the back of the mic system on the computer. So it's just jack to jack, and then Audacity will recognise that the audio's been plugged in and you're ready to go. Isn't that just sound amazing? Yeah, it's a little bit peaked out, maybe just ever so slightly, but it sounds brilliant. I couldn't have imagined of a better recording. So I'm going to save that as Suntan, and we're going to record the next one. So we're going to export audio. Now Not in Audacity though, because it's hard to find. Sugar Free, where we put our saving. I want to call it Suntan. I don't know what the other tracks are called. I just know that one's called Suntan. So there's 3 tracks on this tape, and I've got 6 tapes to record. Some of them are E-Type, what he did in the 80s, recorded some live sessions. I'd like to play those to you, but I'm not going to. So yeah, the really cool thing is with a Sony thing, I've got a Sony thing in there, and I can have them on separate earphones. I can have my earphones in at the same time so I can hear what's being played. I actually, something really freaky happened. I use my big headset and it's got a microphone in it as well. But for some reason, the audio, right? The audio, headphone, the thing that goes through the headphones is actually sending. Well, it's really confusing to say this, but the thing that says it was definitely a headphone, not a microphone one. So the headphones were being transferred, somehow swirling round and then gone back and into the recording because tapping on the headphone socket, it was picking it up. I'll show you. It's really, really weird. And it's what you don't want. So make sure that, also don't use an actual headset like this, because I'll just compare. That's my microphone one. This one's the actual headphone one. So I plug that in there and it's in there like that. Yeah. So I've saved that Suntan, and if I press record, hello. Hey, how you all doing? Hello! Hey! Whoa! Hey! Whoa! So, let's play that back. Hello! Hey! Yeah, so be careful. Be careful what you use to do that, because it will pick it up. And if you're like, you probably would hear it very slightly. So don't use a headset unless it's got no earphones on them, no microphone. So just be aware of that, because even when I recorded nothing, it recorded nothing. So let's record the next track. What you're going to do is you're going to move your cursor over to the record button, then press play on your tape cassette, and that will then start recording the whatever's on the tape. Now, you'll notice that the peak master's peaking out. It's not constantly in the red. If it's constantly in the red, it means that it's over peaked. It's peaking it in and out of the red, which means that it's still over peaked, which is not really a good thing. You might have to turn it down a little bit, just so it's glowing into the orange and the green, which would be a better recording, to be fair, because there is settings on there where you can turn the audio louder, the decibels, which would be okay, but you might get some more sounds. There is software you can use which is called Adobe Premiere Pro, which is what I use now, not for editing, but I use it for the audio. I've got this special audio device called Audition. Is it Audition? And it's great, because what it does is it gets rid of all the hiss on your tapes, and it's just with a few clicks. There is a Magix one, but it's not brilliant, because you get this woo on the tape. It's got this other sound that it generates, and it's not brilliant. So as you can see there, we're recording a sample. So yeah, like I said before, you just get a standard jack to jack, preferably a long one. You got your headphone in there, and then it goes into either the front of the PC or the back of the PC. But make sure your PC has got a very good sound card, because that's very vitally important. I was very lucky because this PC was an expensive one back in 2005, and it had a great sound card, so I was able to record it in HD quality. I've got Riddick Audio HD installed on that computer, and that's why it sounds so good. But you are going to hear back what I've played. Now I've had to re-record what I've said, because I didn't quite give you or tell you what to do, and I am now. when you've done your file, when you've done it, you want to save it as an mp3. Now you may have to download the Audacity mp3, but you'll find that on the internet. I'll probably post the link in the description. But once you're done, you go to file, you go to export, and then you want to save it as whatever, and then save that in your file, and that is done. So it's not difficult to record tapes on a computer, but it's considerably a lot cheaper. I didn't use the Technics for many reasons. It just did not work, but this Panasonic worked absolutely great. So here we go. We're going to hear the other sample. Enjoy. Cheers. Cool. Sounds alright actually. What do you think of the sound? Do you think it sounds acceptable? So the vocals come in 3, 2, 1, not quite. I've not heard it enough. There's no bass added on that, so I don't know whether that's good or not. But we've got it, we'll save it. We save everything we record, because if anything happens to that tape, at least we've got it. So name that track 2, because I don't know what that one's called. There's only 3 tracks on this tape, and I've got another 5 to do. Some of them are E-types, some of them are like band records, so I need to have earphones in, because sometimes it could get loud and sometimes it's not, and I want to make sure that I get it right. So I'll keep that just in case, because what you can actually do with Audacity and other programs, you can actually get rid of the bass. You can like sort of reduce the bass and make it so it doesn't sound too much. I mean, I'll just show you for an example. If we go to effects here, we've got a lower filter pass, high limit, you know, all these adjustable fade and whatnot, reverb. If I put a low filter pass, so if I click on that low filter pass, click the whole song, and what it'll do is it'll just filter it and reduce the amount of whatever. And ooh, I think so anyways, I'm not 100% sure, I'll double check. But I actually quite like that bit of bass on it, that bit of grunginess, because I think it sounds quite nice. So yeah, the next song is the last one we're going to record. So I'm going to actually put it on flat just to see what the difference is. So you spin this little wheel, you've got clear. Actually, clear might be alright. If you have flat, it's just flat. So it's not too high, it's not too low, it's flat. And that's the great thing about these, they've got an equaliser, and that's just great. So we'll hit record again, press play, and then we'll record it in flat just to see. And it might not peak as much, that's why I'm thinking, oh, still peaking out quite rapidly. But it's not as bad. It's more better this time. And then, yeah, it's a lot. It must be a bit better, but sometimes it does sound a bit better with a bit of bass. But like if you've got a car and that, the bass is already preset in some cars. So I don't want it to be too bassy, to be distorted or anything like that. The strange thing is, I played the original recordings that I put onto a CD. For some reason, in the car it was playing mono, but on the computer it was playing stereo. So I'm like, So I'm going to have to convert these to stereo, get a converter and convert these to stereo, because just to be sure. I mean, it is showing up left and right, but the tape, it is sort of a stereo tape, believe it or not. And now we should use the same song just to compare, but I need to get these tapes done by Monday, so yeah. I know I enjoy doing this, it's a bit of fun. You know what I mean? But he's going to be really impressed. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to get the noise clearance. So yeah, there's Premiere Pro, which is like done by Adobe Premiere Pro, which is like a video editing software which also has audio facilities to record on. You've also got Magic, which has got like vinyl, which is, you get this vinyl software where you can record vinyl onto the PC. What that has is, it gets rid of all the noise and crackle, so when you record vinyl. So if I download that onto it, I can like open some audio files and edit them. So I might just download that. But Premiere Pro, Mark was telling us, he'd got some like old 75s. I can't remember what they were. They were, you know, they were a bit bigger than singles records, anyways. And he said, you know, they're a bit, they're like, there's like sugar glass or whatever it was. They were very flimsy. They break easy. And he said it sounded really sort of like noisy and crisp, cricks and crackles. And he said he used that software, and he said he highlighted it, and he said he got rid of all the noise. He said it done it just like that. And I was like, wow. So I might try and get Premiere Pro just for the audio section. And the great thing is, you know, about this, you can be as noisy as you bloody want. And it's recording it dead quietly, because when I did it with a microphone, I had the bloody music on too loud. And it probably disturbed next door. So knowing I can do it in the quiet is quite nice. But you can plug just some standard earphones in and listen back, which I'm going to have to do when I do these live recordings, because you don't know what the levels are going to be like. You know, the tape could be way too loud. So I'll be fiddling around with this little dial here to get it perfect. Now, just because it's coming out quite, if you've got the input on high on the computer, like the mic input, you'd have to turn it down on there, but you'll get more noise, and that's not what you want. So this actually, on the actual thing on there, the record volume's at 7, which I think is perfect. I could put it on 6, and that would stop that peaking out too much. I could simply do that, but I think it's okay. You can hear the noise, which I'm hopefully going to get rid of some software, but I think it sounds great. You might be able to release these. You might actually put these on CD if I get them really good. You might want to release them. Oh, that sounds brilliant in a way, because it's not flat, is it? Flat. That sounds a bit better being on flat. If I had bass on that, it sounds a bit too much. Yeah, the problem with it, you kind of didn't go out on the left there. Yeah, I'm going to have to re-record that one because it's slightly too loud, and it's like the tape's a bit warped, unfortunately. So I'm going to have to redo that one again. But that's just basically how you record onto a tape, and you don't have to fork out money. I mean, I'm sure we've all got a jack to jack. If we're audio people, we'll have a jack to jack. We'll either have one of these, or your brother or your son might have one of these that you could borrow. And just, yeah, it's really simple and easy to do. It's not stressful. But if you're using, obviously, a hi-fi one, please be aware, because they're not always the best. There's too many decibels in that Technics, and it was just Nah, it was too much for it. That's why I had to use this little Panasonic system, and it's all thanks to Gus, because Gus is the one who left him here. So thank you, Gus, for that. That's a very helpful. This used to be a gym, so Gus used to come in here and play his music, and he's left this system here, and I've actually used it. It's actually come into use, which it's just going to be sitting here gathering dust. I actually cleaned it as well. But there, that's a simple, easy way to record your tapes onto the computer. Hope you like this video. The next video I will do is to get rid of noise, so we'll be learning how to do that. Anyways, thank you for watching. Hope to see you guys tomorrow if all goes well. Cheers. Bye.